Good morning, champions. Hope your day is going well. And I want to talk a little bit today about intergenerational poverty. Now, I look at it this way, and this is something that has really come to light for me and my team over the last little while. And we've actually made it a mission of ours because we want to eradicate this from every family. But we're going to start with our own. We're going to start here in North America, but we're going to spread around the world. But I think actually it's the biggest problem is here in North America because I look at my own family and most families around me, but like we've been in Canada for about 4 or 5 generations, but still we have to get a mortgage. Still every generation is starting more or less at zero. There's no accumulation of wealth going from generation to generation. There was no paid off homes passed from one generation to the next. There was no land. There was no business. It's just, people, and this is not just my family. This is as a country, as a continent. It's not. It shouldn't be this way. But people save up and they build up and they retire. And this is why in one of my last videos I call retirement a scam, because number one, most people don't plan for it properly. But number two, this is what happens. People get to this retirement, but they live longer than they expect, and life costs more than they expect. And their paid off house and their cash and all this stuff they've built, they end up depleting it all into retirement and usually having to rely on someone else in their later years. This is a problem. Now, I've got friends and clients from all over the world. It's less of a problem in other places. And no specific, but there's clients I have clients and friends from all over, and they all seem to have homes or land or business back home. And it's interesting how generation by generation that equity is building. But out here in the land of prosperity with a great financial system and every reason to be passing on wealth and not debt and liabilities, but still so often it's not, and I mean so often, like the vast majority of people and families do not pass on wealth to the next generation. And a couple $1,000, even $100,000 isn't a lot. Like, I mean wealth. I mean, like, we got our lifetime to build up, live for ourselves, but then pass it on to the next generation. And there's a mentality that circulates that I think is I don't know where it came from, but it's evil and it's not right. And the mentality is people say, I started off such and such. My kids can figure it out for themselves. Whatever. I don't need to pass anything on to them. They'll figure it out for themselves. I do agree that people got to learn how to work and all that. But I also don't agree that people should that there's this mentality that I'm not going to leave the next generation better than what I started. Like, it's so backwards. Why wouldn't I want the next generation in my family to start off on a better foot? Not just with money, that too, of course, wealth, money, land, houses, businesses, yes, but also teaching. Why can't I teach them as well as give them money? Make sure that the wealth that I pass goes into wise hands. And this is what we should be doing. So this is what our team is committed to. We're committed to ensuring that every single family has the right kind of assets put in place so that they can pass those assets to the next generation, and the next generation can start on a serious foot up, but also the knowledge, the education. So I ask that anybody who wants to help with this, reach out to me. We'll talk about ways to be involved, and we got to do it. Who else is going to stop? Like, who else is going to stop the perpetual trend of poverty going from generation to generation? I'm like, I'm going to be the one to make sure that my family lineage never looks the same financially. And it's not rocket science. There's a lot of simple things every single person in this country can do to ensure that they live wealthy and they also make sure the next generation is wealthy. So reach out for more. I love sharing this information, and I love talking to people who see what I see or are interested to learn more. So feel free to reach out. I'll put my email and everything in the comments section. But I hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and let's go out there. We've already won. Have a good day, ladies and gents.